Hey y'all, what's going on? It's a Coastal Critiques panel. We are back again with the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City's season 5, episode 5, which is entitled Whitney, Drew, and Her Clues. Y'all, let's get into it.
Let's go.
Well, hello.
Hey. How's it going, sis?
It's going. It is going, and it is Thursday. Almost
We
the
like
weekend, so I'm not complaining.
We like a good old Friday Eve. We love a Friday Eve around here in these parts. Hello, everyone. Thank y'all for joining us for another Coastal Critiques panel review. Woo! You got the
Yes. Claps. We love to hear it. We love coming to y'all to talk about this week after week. The season is still giving, if I do say so myself. So I really don't have any bad things to say about this episode. As we were just saying, like, I didn't even get to watch the full thing last night. So even on the replay, it was still just as good. And I am glad that it is finally Friday. I'm glad that it's finally Thursday so we can talk about it. But before we get into all that, y'all already know to hit the like button on both of our channels, as we say every single week. We are streaming from both platforms, so go ahead, hit the like button over there and over here. Please and thank you. Also, if you're not subscribed to one, but you're subscribed to the other, or if you're not subscribed to anybody at all, make sure you hit subscribe on both channels as well. Please and thank you. And once this live concludes, we would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. We love to chat with you all. We do, answer our comments. So leave us a few comments. We would definitely appreciate that, and share us with everybody you know. So, easy, very, very easy, very, just a couple steps. And we can get into it. So what did you think about the episode? Was it giving or was it not for you?
I keep saying every week, my girl Mary keeps showing up and showing me things, and I'm just like, I don't know, maybe because it's our season, maybe it's a Libra thing right now, but she's really showing up for me. And then we got some little bit of rivalry going on and some things. My whole thing, I think our theme that we keep talking about is that I think it just nip things in the bud right when it's happening instead of waiting. And now I'm moving on from that to, if y'all could just not talk to who you need to talk to in person and stop telling the group, unless you talk to the person and then go tell the group. It's different.
Well, there's like one person in particular that's been really doing that a lot, and these two people, and then I didn't even realize that person also kind of left out a pertinent piece of what she carried back and forth last week. But we got to it this week. There's been one person in particular, y'all, that's really been doing what she thinks is the Lord's work, but we would call it producing. We see a producer on this show. We see
ain't gonna get called out for it.
Maybe more than one producer on this show right now, and
for sure.
we don't really like that. So we don't call it out when we see it. But
and you won't get called out on it for it. And if we talking about the same person, yes. So yeah, that's I'm just like I always like when they show us something different we have not seen, especially we're in season 5 now. So I don't want them to go to season 10 and we're still like, they ain't talking about nothing. They ain't talking about the same old thing. So I feel like, we got, I keep saying Mary keeps showing up for work. We got a lot more from Bronwyn that made me look at her a little different, which I love, hate with dislike what happened, but love that she shared that. Yes. And then I'm sure something else. Lisa always shows her hand. Whitney, a revelation with Whitney is not so much in something within, but just some things that she found out that swayed her mind a little bit on some things. So it was a lot of like, you know, it was like a Pac-Man maze. So I enjoyed it, and I like you, I watched it this morning too. So
I did.
Fresh eyes. And we did not say hello to the gentlemen, yes, that are in the building that we love. And hello, Kev. What it do, boo?
Hey, Kevin. How are you today?
Hey, Ken.
Hey,
That baby at school and still showing up. That's what I'm talking about. That's the dedication.
Appreciate you. Episode gave Mary was a highlight for me, especially when she clocked Heather towards the end of the episode.
Come on, Ken.
We definitely do. And without further ado, let's get into it, y'all. So we pick up with, and I'm like, production needs to be stopped, because I don't know if y'all caught that slick shade, but I definitely did, because we opened up with none other than Henry Barlow gaming. Right? He is on the game. He's in not only is he gaming, but he is in his game room gaming. And Lisa's trying to pry him up off there to no avail. He not even paying no attention to his mother. He wants to be on that game, and he let us do that. So we did get that quick little cute scene. I thought that was hilarious. And then we see a little like mini little 2-second clip of Meredith. This is the only bit of Meredith we got the episode, right? Yeah, Meredith wasn't in this.
Yeah, we didn't. She was not in this episode. You're right.
Just saying. I know I said it, last week or a week before, that Meredith, you, unless she's enthralled in somebody else's stuff, she really don't have that much going on right now. Just saying. We just saw that little bit right there of her learning, Hebrew and everything. But the first actual scene is none other than between Bronwyn and Lisa. They go to were they getting massages? I guess, yeah, they were getting like foot massages or whatever. And it seems like they're in a good enough place. Obviously, I was a little surprised at first, because I'm like, wait, but last time I checked, you guys were still kind of like, but they're in a better place. And that's because we find out that while they were sitting at the airport, y'all, Bronwyn apparently made this face, and it kind of made her look like her daughter, Gwen or whatever. And she was like, that's not impossible. No one ever tells me I look like Gwen, because she looks like her dad, Exhibit A. And she showed Lisa the picture of her dad, and Lisa was like, oh my God, I know him. Or should I say, like, me and his parents are like super close. And so that was really like startling to them both. One, because Bronwyn lets us know that that's like done on purpose. That's why you didn't know Lisa, because she's very she keeps that side of the equation of her life just very private. And Lisa also had no idea, because she had no idea. And we find out that and we had found out in episodes earlier that her child's father was not in her life. When she got pregnant at 19 and had her daughter at 20, he wasn't in the picture, and it's just been her and her daughter pretty much the whole time. And she takes us back through when she did get pregnant and everything, and they went over to his parents' house and told them they basically made it all her fault. They're very, very Mormon, small Mormon town, very Mormon family, and they labeled her to be the blame behind everything. And that really set the tone for the divide in that relation. I don't think they even had one to begin with, I'm sure, but that set the tone for how things were going to be going forward. And Bronwyn knew from there on out that she was going to be the sole provider for her daughter. And she, so much so that she didn't even have time to be embarrassed. And I only say that because she went into detail about how when she told her family, they also were kind of feeling some type of way, which caused a rift between her and her mom mainly for quite some time. But
But wasn't her dad's
Her dad was the recorder. He was the recorder or something, which is a prestigious, title or whatever, basically. So it kind of like brought shame, I guess, to him or whatever, to the family. Their daughter got pregnant her second year, BYU, or out of wedlock, like all the things, I'm sure. And so that, again, that set the tone for like how she navigated and how she dealt with like family and or lack thereof, I should say, with her daughter going forward. And she says that when she was like on Facebook one day, she actually saw, she was scrolling whatever, and she saw a picture of Gwen's dad. And Gwen was about like 2 years old at this time. And it was not just a picture, it was an obituary. So her dad actually passed away when she was like about 2 years old. So that's that. And it was obviously like super, and Lisa says like, yeah, like she was there, it was super devastating for the family. And it's been hard reconciling obviously with them and everything because of all that trauma that kicked off at the very start. And Lisa actually said that she met with the paternal grandmother, I think the day prior to her and Bronwyn getting together in this scene. And they said that they want to be a part of Gwen's life. They're acting like they have open arms or whatever at this point. And Bronwyn does say that she knows that Gwen does want to know more about her dad, which is quite natural. And she did inform her about this, about the airport conversation, everything that happened between her and Lisa and all the stuff, like she told her right off the bat, because we know that her and her daughter are super close, and she wanted to communicate that right off the bat from her. So how do we feel about that? Or actually, wait, let's say hi.
Wait, you hear the echo? You hear the echo?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, sorry, y'all. I don't know why it's doing that. Hey, Cheeky Cheeks, what's going on, Colette?
Hey there. Mm-hmm. Hey, Orange Blossom. Hi, ladies. I don't mind if Meredith leaves or stays. She's hit or miss for me, and she's phased out. I mean, that's basically what I was getting at before. Hey, LaDonna, how are you today?
Hey, why you seen a minute?
Would have caught and aired the airport conversation. Yeah, Lisa, because at first I was like, this episode jumped right off the porch pretty much, like with this whole scene. It was like, whoa, like heartstrings were pulled right off the bat. And I almost, I could see why we wanted to maybe see that actual airport scene and stuff, because it was just a lot. It was a lot right off the bat.
It probably was really emotional for Bronwyn. Given the details on how she found out this, her kid, her baby's father had passed and everything. That was really heavy to find out. The fact that the parents did her like that, that's so mean, so devastating. I was pregnant at 18. I turned 19 when I was 4 months pregnant. And she was 19 going on 20, and I wasn't in college. I just had graduated little old high school and was working in braid hair. So for me, I'm just like, dang. Now my dad did tell me that he didn't want me. He's like, well, you pregnant, you want to go live with him. So his mom, was open arms for me. And, up until she went on to the next plateau, she was like still open arms for me. So it just, to be that young, to be with child, not know nothing, and then they blame you, and then you leave, the kind of won't use the word hatred, but the kind of dislike I'ma have for you for blaming me when your son did this to me. Your son did this to me. Your son did this to me.
I should have also said too, y'all, if y'all didn't watch episode whatever, then he also was like too, because his family's probably like how Bronwyn broke it down was like they would have prathered her pretty much like go into hiding, basically act like she was going to go to school overseas or whatever for, go have a baby and give her baby up for adoption.
Are you crazy? You go do that with your baby. You go do that with your baby, your husband, and your stuff. You go do that with yours. Go do that with your daughter. Go do that with yours. Stop trying to tell people what to do. Now, I understand that's your son, but that was just wrong. And to look back, I'm sure It just, for me, Bronwyn telling us that is like, whoa. And then for Lisa to know them, and then, cool. They, now they want to be grandparents, and now they're open arms. Like, woo, this is a large wound that you got here. So it's going to take a lot to get to a good point, but we'll see how it plays out. And again, shout outs to Bronwyn for not only coming in as a newbie, but like really showing up for the job, like fashion wise, bringing everything she can. And then you bring this into the fold too. It's like, girl, ooh.
I mean, fashions were a little questionable, but
saying,
but no, she's can't. I tell you all, and you guys know, I pride myself on being objective. So although I might come for her fashions, and I might come for her when she's being a little bit of annoying to me, we can't negate the fact that she's low key carrying the season on her back a bit.
Come on.
Mary's also holding up one side too, and honestly. I hate to give it to her too, but Brittany's kind of holding a little bit of the season too. And as much as we don't want to hear about what she has going on, because it's downright stand up, Brittany, she's kind of holding it up too. So I do commend her for, as LaDonna said, for being strong and coming right off the cuff with this and opening this up to us, because it's not even about her. And she actually said this in the scene. She's like, everybody, like, we all making it about us or whatever, when in all actuality, this is about like Gwen, and she's had the least say in anything. And furthermore, because I think Bronwyn said this later on, like she tried to go through such lengths to basically overcompensate, only to then now still like there's still this void there. And we'll get more into that when her and Gwen have their sit down, which
I really wish
in this episode.
I'm sorry, I really wish that parents would stop doing that, because no matter what, when it comes to Mother's Day and Father's Day, when those two things roll around every year, it's not ever going to be a day that day is not going to affect that person when they don't have that person around, or if their person went to the next plateau, and or you don't have a relationship with that person. You can not, I don't want to say you can not fulfill that person's shoes, but literally you can't keep them from not wanting to ask about them or know about them.
I mean, it depends on the child. I think it depends on the child, and sure. We can get more into this when we get to that part, but I just, from my perspective, it depends on the child. And I only say that because my sister, her dad was never in her life. He passed away before she was born. So she, and I've had the conversation with her where she's like, no, like she doesn't like it. Exactly what Brahma said. Like, she don't miss what she doesn't have. It really hasn't impacted her like that. So that's what she told me, and I believe it. So I think it just depends on the individual child, but still, I don't think that Bronwyn, based off of how that whole first meeting encounter went, I don't think that she went about it in a bad way whatsoever. I think she went about it in the best way she could, and knew that I'm gonna be the only person to have my back in this situation. And those people clearly made it clear that they didn't want to have nothing to do with her. So fine, it is what it is. But it would have been different if like he was trying to come around, or they were trying to, I guess, be in her life, and she was still like, no. I think within reason, after a certain age, I think if that was the case, if she would have asked Gwen, like, hey, Gwen, your dad's family, they want to actually be a part of your life now. Is that something you want to do? And she should have gave her the option from there. But obviously
they would have had to reach out for that, and they knew they knew she was has existed at some point. And
I put it all in them.
Yeah, I am too. All right, so we can move on. But this other thing I did put in my notes is that I think that Bronwyn needs to go talk to somebody about it, so that she can get that that resentment off of her, because there's no reason to carry that, especially because your daughter's about to be grown. You can't change what they did. They made the wrong decision. It's their decision. And let them carry that burden. You don't need to. So I hope she goes and talks to somebody, not just tell us and tell everybody, but go really talk to somebody and get it off your chest.
Yes, facts. Next up, we see Whitney, Heather, and Brittany skiboarding. What the
snowboarding? Oh, she made it look so easy. Skiboarding is something you gonna go make up, because I don't know.
And I have never, y'all. I've done a lot of sports, but I've never done snow sports. So yeah, I don't even know what that is. But they were doing some skiing and snowboarding, and afterwards, Heather shows Whitney a video of that Brittany sent her from the night they got back from Milwaukee as well. And apparently Jared sent her 4 dozen pink roses, a really sweet card, etc., etc. And
I will give him 2 points for that is handwritten. Yes,
yeah, and actually I have a picture of that, and I was trying to dissect what he said on there, and it was
you did? Oh, we go.
Which has her considering meeting up with him because he deserves closure, according to her, especially for the snarky text messages that she sent him, or should we say Lisa sent him, because we find out that Lisa took her phone when they were leaving the drag bar to to start texting him all these like snarky like messages and stuff that got his mind all crazy, apparently, rightfully so, if you ask me. And Whitney also, at the same time, Brittany's saying that she has this issue because she has an issue with Lisa now because it caused issues with her and her non-boyfriend. Whitney's also like, yeah, well, I got some issues with Lisa too, because apparently when we got back, like Lisa did the most lowdown thing ever, and I find out that through Charles, one of the like hotel staff or whatever, they apparently went and were cleaning up the rooms or whatever, and they found a cream colored box that said Prism that had a gold necklace in it that looked mighty familiar, almost identical to the ones that Whitney gave the ladies at the table before they left. And you know whose room it was found in, y'all? It was found in Lisa's room.
Oh, jewelry. Lose a ring every other month.
You know, this is nothing new to Lisa. Like, it's just another piece of she loses jewelry for fun. So it's really no skin off her nose. And because of that, Whitney took it as the biggest slight ever. And she's taking things with her super personal. And it was this moment where Heather let Whitney know that it wasn't even Lisa that started the whole bringing the rumor around to everybody. It was actually, or I should say, it wasn't Meredith that did it, Lisa that did it. And Whitney's like, wow, that's crazy. It definitely is personal. It's my business, and it feels super, super personal. And honestly, it smells like a plant. It smells like a plant, and she is going to get to the bottom of this. She knows how vindictive Lisa can be, and now that it's clear that it wasn't Meredith that started the rumor, it seems like it was Lisa, and she's gonna investigate, which is why we got the name of this episode. How do we feel about that?
Let's start off with Brittany. Brittany, you're not strong enough to go meet up with Jared. You could have called him on the phone, had a conversation with him on the phone, because you're not strong enough. Like, I just feels like
she sat down and was like,
yeah, she's that. And then you guys broke up 16,000 times. So, I mean, you're not strong enough. So I wouldn't know. She shouldn't have went to go see him, but whatever. It is what it is. Like, on her part. And as far as Lisa, now, was it found in the trash or was it left behind? Because what did you just say?
I think he just like they found it. I don't remember them saying anything about the trash or nothing, but it was just like it was left behind. But
so when I did my notes, I said the same thing. But then I heard Whitney say later on that it was in the trash. So now I'm like, wait, are we putting a 2 on the 10, or did she throw it away? Because there is a distinct difference.
I would rather you just gave it back to me then, if that's the case. You shouldn't accept
it. And I put that in my notes at that time because we're gonna get to it. Because I didn't put that in my notes right here. I didn't put that Whitney said that she threw it in the trash. But all I'm saying is Lisa didn't have to do all that. If she left it behind, being careless, or I don't care about it that much, so I'm just gonna leave it. Okay, but if they found it in the trash, yeah, I'm gonna take that super personal. Because you could have just gave it back to me and just been like, you know what, thanks but no thanks, and then that lets me know where we are, and then I know how to treat you accordingly. You don't have to do me like that. Thank you. So yeah, so Whitney ain't playing this.
No.
Whitney gonna get to the bottom of it, especially if she thought Meredith. You saw she clocked Meredith. So if anything, if she's gonna be wrong about it, we gonna make sure. Thank you, baby. And we gonna make sure I get the right. I'm gonna get the right target. Is what it's given. That's what it's given. Mm-hmm. Are you downloading the letter? Because I you know what, I don't know why I didn't pause, and usually I do, but I think because I was just in my bed and I didn't feel like getting out of my bed to go, because I paused it all the way on it. But yeah, I don't like Jared. And then Lisa, that's messed up if you did that. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's not cool.
Yeah, I think she should. Oh yes, the jewelry was found in trash. Okay, it was found in the trash. So
see. That's a whole other ball game. That's a whole
you could have just gave it back. Like honestly, like it's not that serious. Lil Lisa is the villain, and Whitney needs some comeback lessons in my Mary's voice, little girl.
Yes.
I mean, that's the thing.
Little girl.
Whitney's gonna do some she's gonna do some wild back. I do feel like that, and I know she's capable of it. So
do y'all think that she did anything? I'm sorry, sister. Do y'all think that she did anything that wrong on the podcast? That
was her experience of her. And Lisa, and I feel like she's tried to tell, even last season, like she's tried to tell, and it's not to say that Whitney doesn't have her flaws with her, because she does, but she's tried to tell Lisa in so many words and on so many occasions of when she's being not the best friend to her.
Right.
And Angie actually brings it up later on that it keeps being something, and if it's not even just Whitney, she's heard it from different people in the group before, like, you're not being the best friend. This is not cool, Lisa. Come on, Lisa. Like, it's been said before, so it's just like, girl,
deaf ears.
You just don't want to hear it.
Deaf ears.
It's not my fault that I went on a podcast and told them my experience with you.
I don't feel like it's that. She didn't really say nothing about her. Oh, Lisa's always been the villain.
She didn't, but Lisa just didn't like that she said that, because that's not how she wants to be portrayed. But
well, that's how she's always been.
That's how she portrays you. If that's who you showed up in her story as the villain, then that's what it is. She just mad.
That's funny to me.
I would do the same thing as Lisa and throw the jewelry in trash. I don't want my wrists to. I mean, like,
just give it back. Orange Blossom, just give it back and let me know where we stand. Why would you? Because now, look, I don't know. I'm already always. I feel like Whitney always is asking Lisa, "What's your problem with me, Lisa? Lisa, what am I doing to you, Lisa?" Even still, even with like,
she went in her room and was like, "Why
Orange Blossom? What exactly did that warrant? So hers exactly on the podcast? Because I still don't think that what we've heard she said or what they're showing us. She said, because I didn't see the podcast. I don't know what podcast it was, but I don't think that they even showed it. Oh, I think she's a complete B. I don't like her alcohol. I wouldn't do like that would warrant something like that. But I'm still trying to figure out, why is she so mad? Her being called a villain, or her being caught up in something you doing to Whitney, and that's the way she perceive you. Oh, well, it's not that big a deal. I don't think not to throw some jewelry right now. You do that, it's like you could have just told me, you know what, when she gave it to you, oh, that's cute, thank you, but you know what, I'm gonna have you go ahead and keep it, because I only wear my husband's jewelry, or whatever the case may be. But just speak on it. Don't throw my shit away.
I think she should. Yeah, then just be for real. Even when she went into her room last week, when Whitney went into Lisa's room and she was like, "Okay, we're about to do this or whatever," and Lisa was like, yeah, I'm just gonna, like, instead of just keep being real and saying, "No, bitch, I don't want with you right now because you pissed me off, and I want to go with you." She tiptoed around it, which is also why she threw it away instead of letting it be known. A real would have been like, oh, this, and just threw it back on the table when she gave it to her in the moment, instead of taking it, acting like things are cool, just to then throw it in the trash. Like, that's just like corny as fuck to me.
That's funny because I called her a punk beat in my notes.
Like,
I said a punk. That's
me to my face, like, for real. No, Whitney hide your hands. I mean, Whitney has her ways, which is why I said I'm not saying any of this to negate anything that she's done, but I do feel like in this moment, she gave Lisa multiple, even again last year when she blew up on Lisa or walked out of Meredith's jewelry party or whatever. Remember when her friend had passed away and Lisa was all like not trying to be supportive or whatever, and she told her, like, there's been numerous times where people have brought things to Lisa's attention and she willfully just won't accept it because it's, oh, I'm not yelling, this is just the way I talk. Well, if that's how it is for them, then they're gonna say, no, she was yelling at me. If you were being a villain to her, you were being a villain to her. Period.
Agreed.
Giorgio says on the phone with Whitney is the same person who broke the wand story of paying for the hotel room from season 8 of RHOP. Wait.
Ooh, really?
Are you talking about
the wand story from when?
No. I'm saying this. The person that Whitney was talking to on the phone when whatever her casual friend, however she wanted to put it, when she was on the phone with him when she was in the car with Justin. I know who that blogger is. That's not that blogger though. I watch him on YouTube sometimes, actually, who she was talking to on the phone.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's obvious that and that's why I say Whitney's not free of her flaws, because when she kind of did that in this episode, and we'll get to it here in a second, by her talking to a blogger so casually and stuff like that, that lets us know that, yeah, you guys do talk to bloggers, Whitney. That makes it look like, your hands are not as clean as you like to act like they are. Because look, and even how she tried to downplay it and say like, oh yeah, this is my casual friend, he's also a podcaster. Sure, casual friend, sure.
Oh, I didn't see that. I just
like, yeah, you gotta like look at it from an angle of, oh,
but they did put podcaster in all caps. I said,
you guys have a casual friend where he's openly calling you and stuff. How convenient. Interesting.
Y'all be picking up on some stuff. See, I saw that, but it didn't click.
Or like, who even knows if he was telling the truth? He could just being as though
feed him information.
One thing, like, it's that let us know that you have no issues talking to bloggers, and that also lets us know that if you guys are cool or whatever, who knows, you could have you could have told him to call you and tell you that. Just saying. Next up, y'all, man, I really didn't like the scene. Next up, we see Mary. She's at home. She's getting ready to go to a dance class, and she calls for Robert Jr. He's upstairs, and she's like, just checking on you or whatever, about to go to dance class. And he comes moseying out, and he's like, oh, you think I can get a little money? And y'all, we talked about it. We talked about it last week, right? Yeah.
We did.
It's no news that he's dealing with some substance abuse issues right now, and I feel like we saw that even right there. He came out there looking higher than Cuda Brown, if you ask me. But I mean, like, sorry, that's just what I saw, and she saw it too. Mary knows. Mary was fighting her denial so bad in this scene, y'all, and she even starts going on this whole like plant analogy, and you got to fuel your body with the right stuff or otherwise you die, and all this stuff. And because she asked him, she's like, you're using it for good purposes, right? And he's like, yeah, or whatever.
Well, no, because she started off by asking, she asked him, was he hungry or did he eat? He said no. And then she said, well, and he said, well, can I get some money? She said, well, for what? And he said, well,
a little food,
for food. And I'm like,
she
just asked you. She
like, it was just food. Like it was classic. Like this
well, when they going.
Oh no, we don't now. Like this is very on brand for those types of situations.
Mhm.
And she says, she's like, you know, she supports him, and although she does want him to be independent and get a job and everything, but it's just right now he's just not in a good space. And working would actually just make it way worse and stuff, because the focus wouldn't be there, and it would just be a failure to perform type of situation, basically. And he's like, you know, I'm about to go lay back down, and goes back in the room, and she's like, bless him, Lord. And I'm like, I know she meant that, because we know
Well,
she,
at least we know now that he's in recovery. Remember, because he's out here, he's in California in a recovery. That's what we reported. She put him in a recovery spot. So hopefully everything is working out for him. We're praying for him and Mary to stay strong for him, and you know, because we don't know what it usually something that sparks the reason why he's doing that. Excuse me, to his body. So.
That his grandfather's his dad too. His great grandfather's his dad. I'm serious. Like, there's like we make jokes about this stuff, and it's like, oh, Mary, but like when you really dissect all this stuff, that's some traumatic that will really have somebody losing their mind, probably, and not knowing how to
talking about him.
Your mom is being super sheltered or whatever. And usually, what do people do, y'all? Like, in small towns, a lot of times when people are being sheltered and there's not really much to do or whatever, this is why a lot of these kids, especially these days, be getting strung out on like some hard drugs, because there's nothing to do. Idle hands.
LaDonna, we're streaming from both channels. So some people are in Barb's chat and some people are in my chat, because you can't unless you're on two devices, you can stream us both. But some people, they will, wherever they land up, because we have you like us on both channels. So when you do that, whatever channel you usually land on, you start commenting from that point, and then you just stay where that is. So if you don't see the comments, that's why. You might be in California, you might be in my chat, and then Barb's chat has more people in it, and so you can just hop over to Barb's chat. Long as you give me the like, we're both just streaming. We both get the views and stuff, but that's why you don't see it. You have to jump into the other chat so you can see the other people in the chat. All right, I'm sorry. Whitney can join Monica in her Range Rover. We do not need no more blogging housewives or housewives associated with bloggers. That's true. Because that's like not even tearing down like what they would be like, oh, the fifth wall and all this other stuff. It's just that it just it messes up the integrity of what's going on, especially if us being bloggers trying to review and recap things. We don't want to be tainted by somebody, or, you know, that's my friend. It's one thing if your friend is on the show and you can't help it, and we know that, but then there's a difference when somebody's feeding you or becoming your friend, trying to be chummy to make sure that they got you in your pocket, in that pocket, so that you never be the one to talk bad about them, and you always come to their rescue when something, even when they're wrong. That ain't cool. That ain't cool.
Yes,
right. And yes, definitely
because I don't want any, like, I you know, y'all, I stay out the drama, and I don't need to be up in any of it. But the person she talked to, his name is Adam, as in Up and Adam, and he has a YouTube channel, and he did a response video.
Oh, that was Up and Adam. She was on. Oh, I know Up and Adam.
I was like, that's who it was.
I didn't see a name. I just remember seeing podcaster, and I
didn't watch his response, but I know he like said a response to it. Yes, he was high as a kite.
Real, because when he came in, his eyes were so small. The only time his eyes, you can see his eyes, is when he looked up and was thinking, trying to give her an answer. I was like, oh my gosh. I was just like,
it just was so awkward for me to watch, knowing that, and knowing like, because it's not, y'all, he's not just a little weed or like
fentanyl. Like, that's dangerous.
Like
Busta Rhymes.
I can't do it. But anyway, y'all,
my favorite scene, one of my favorite scenes is coming up. You know why?
Heather and Lisa. Wait.
Well, I didn't write it. I wrote that, but my.
No. Oh, Angie.
Angie and Mary want to go join Georgia.
Yeah. Angie, y'all. So Mary was talking to him, telling him she's about to leave to go to his class, because next thing we know, Angie pulls up and picks her up, and we know Mary's nose is always on point. She let Angie know that it smelled like onions in there. And to handle that. And they pull up to this hip hop dance class, and we find out that they're also being accompanied by Heather's daughter, Georgia. Her 17-year-old actually is a part of the dance club or whatever.
She's 18.
So 18, whatever.
Bronwyn's daughter 17.
Yeah, sure. Afterwards, Angie tells Mary that she left the trip really emotional. And the exchange was really bad between her and Lisa. And Lisa bringing up her daughter was just like the ultimate low, because she knows that she's a hands-on mom because she lost her mom at such a young age, and she just really didn't appreciate that. And it also highlights the fact that, or I should say, Angie also highlighted the fact that freaking Lisa's had issues with over 8 women, or not over, but 8 women in the group, y'all. Y'all know who all these people are.
Lisa?
Yes.
Yeah, that make you a villain. Oh, never mind.
That's what so it's like, it's not saying this. It's like we've seen her have issues with all these other people too. So it's just like, girl, not everybody can just be making this up. Like, come on now. And that's indicative of the fact that Lisa is rather insatiable as a friend, and she doesn't want, if no one can make her happy if you're not completely on her side of the table with everything. Like, you need to be 100% down verbatim for whatever Lisa's going up for. Otherwise, she doesn't see you as, her friend, is kind of what I thought Angie was saying. And it was actually Heather that told her that Lisa isn't really fooling with her right now. Because of Angie. Heather let Angie know that it was because of Angie. That's why Lisa's not messing with you right now.
Heather, shut up.
This is what we mean, y'all, when we say that been like, she's been inserting herself into all these little situations. And that's why I wasn't mad at the end of this episode with how Mary had to let her know that you start little trails of lies and fires all over the place. And then you just don't see the issue with that. You try to pretend it by something else. You try to hide your hands. Like, come on now, Heather. We knew this. I knew that she was going to try to play this major starter role this season because of how last season went. I knew that she was going to be feeling herself, and she's going to be trying to play producer this upcoming season because of how everything went down in that finale and everything last season. I do.
What I do know is that Heather is, I knew when they met up, when Lisa and Heather meet up for the salt, when they met up there, I was like, I don't know. Heather just seems like a chameleon. Like, wherever she sits, oh, I'm gonna just be right here and do this. It's not that it's not authentic. It just feels like you pick and choose when you feel like somebody is doing something that's your friend. You pick and choose when you want to decide to say something. And when you insert yourself, it's usually the wrong time. Like, her timing is always off. Always.
It is. And I just think that she's doing more harm to her image and to her role in this group. And she's gonna find herself being the one on the outside then, if she doesn't stop, because it's who can I compare her to? I can't think of anybody right now, but this is going to land her on a couch by herself, if you ask me, because I would be very mindful going forward of what I tell her, because she's literally like twisting or leaving out certain parts that really, I feel like, change the story, i.e. just saying that this came from Meredith, when in all actuality, the rumor started with Lisa. Like, that's going to change the whole, that changes the whole narrative. And you also can't be a person, like, it's one thing if you were just putting everything out there on Front Street and then just letting the chips fall where they are, but you're like orchestrating every little part and also forming your own opinions of people or whatever. Because right now she's not really feeling Angie right now because she's siding with Lisa or whatever. So you can't play all the roles. Like,
my thing with that is just I don't know why she's not talking to Angie and just telling Angie, like, Angie, man, what's up? Why are you doing this to Lisa? Why you or you telling everybody else? I don't like the way Angie's showing up for Lisa. What? So go tell Angie. Because when you go tell Lisa, that means that you're forming an alliance and saying, you know what, I don't like the way she treated you, so F her. So we're not talking to her. That's what that looks like in essence. So why don't you go correct it and ask and tell Angie, man, I don't know. If it's me or is it you? Are you trying to be spiteful to Lisa? Or is it me picking up that you're doing that? And she will either tell you, no, girl, I just want to shake her a little bit because she's been getting on my nerve and she's not being a good friend to me. Or no, you picking up right, and I've been shading her, and I don't really care about our feelings no more. Then we can go on. All this other stuff is confusing. Mary called out all her lies. I know you did. So far, at least I don't understand. That's the part I don't understand.
Like that for episode 1, like it's because it's like she's still like in this popular girl, high school girl, like clique mentality or something, and like where Lisa's like the head cheerleader type of. I don't know. I don't identify with that type of behavior, but that's what it's giving, and it's like, Heather, like grow up. Like you say, you won't want people to be talking about your body. You don't want people to be looking at you like this or that, but you're still like moving and navigating in like this space of like where you feel like you either have to prove yourself or you want to sit with the cool people, or it's just like, just stop, girl.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Love the rest of the ladies, but Heather and Whitney can go. I love how the SLC ladies are unpredictable, but the both of them stirring the pot kind of ruins the fun. Yeah, because they're like you can't be the producer. Like we don't want to see that. Like, if you are producing, I better not know. Because I'm not going to say like we haven't seen that on other franchises and stuff where people have been producing a little bit, whatever, but unbeknownst to us until it's finally revealed, like. I need to know like after the fact or something. Don't come into it and I can easily identify what you're doing. Like we see you, Heather.
Annoying.
Angie hit the nail on the head once everybody did. Yes, sir. Yeah, she wants. If you don't side with her completely, if you change any word in the sentence that Lisa said, then that means you are trying to be enemies with her. You're not her friend. You're not down for her. Like, and I just. She makes it hard to defend her. She really.
I'm gonna say, and then she gets hypersensitive. How you gonna have the best of? How you gonna be down to the bone? Nobody. Like when she told Angie, like I don't care. You do care. Shut up. You do care. The people that say that is the main people that care. That's I don't give. You are the main one that give a. You're the main one.
It's a Mormon martyr thing for me, really. Heather, I feel like where it's like on one hand you're like horrible, but on the other hand you're always the one filling in the blanks and you're branding yourself still around that, if that makes sense. Like that's always been like my main thing, I feel like, with her, coupled with we did see she was very much Snoop Dogg this and that, like she was very like with
Sharif's little friend too, like I remember that.
Yeah, we remember that. Speaking of Heather, though, her and Lisa at this same time are at
Salt Cave.
They're in a salt cave, Himalayan salt room, and they're just relaxing and stuff in there. And they also at the same time are reflecting on the Milwaukee trip as well, with Lisa saying how things got so weird at the Harley Museum, and Heather feels like Angie, like we were just saying, she feels like she's challenging Lisa unnecessarily, and she doesn't like how she's treating Lisa right now as a friend. And she even revealed, again, carrying bones back and forth again. She tells Lisa that the next day Angie came up to her and was talking about, basically talking junk about her, and saying how and saying how her daughter needs her and needs, you know, more support from her, unlike Lisa and Henry, where she just allows him just to be up in his room playing games all day pretty much.
The
And
game is his babysitter.
the game is his babysitter, is what she said. And we didn't see this, we see this unseen footage of her having this conversation with her. And of course, once Heather tells Lisa this, she's like, oh, wow, I'm like a great mom. and Heather really just had to break it down to her and tell her that pretty much Angie feels like Electra requires more than Henry requires of you. And you don't understand that she can't take time away from her daughter just up like that. And Lisa's just like, well, if I'm such a mother, then I'm doing pretty good for being so, because my kids exhibit A and B. And then I want to say in their confessional, Heather tried to like cover her own behind by saying that she could have gone forever without telling Lisa this, but it just felt like the right thing to do because it was just so mean. And it felt like something that Lisa just had to know.
The lies. Shout out to Candy. That is not true. You don't have to do nothing. And you know how the girl gonna react. She's gonna overreact. She's an overreactor. Just like she's an overreactor. If you change up one little word, one little tweak in her story, it's gonna be a problem. So why would you tell her? Stop being the bone collector. Stop doing that, Heather. I don't want to see it.
Tucker Carlson, Heather is so codependent with her relationship with the women, Lisa and Mike Tyson, Jen. She needs to be on someone's couch ASAP with Brittany on the brain. So yeah, that really just irritates me, because it's like it's like, instead of being mad at the right people, it's like no one can even be mad at the right people, because Heather, you're orchestrating so much stuff and leaving out key points in it. And going back to, you know, everybody parents differently. I'm not telling anybody how to parent. And I don't feel like it's that bizarre that he wants to be on the game a lot or whatever. No. Do I think that he should be on the game every waking moment up until the wee hours of the morning? No, I don't. But I don't think it's weird that he wants to be on the game. He's a preteen boy. Like, that's totally normal, I feel like. But and I feel like if I was Lisa, if Lisa better than me, because I would have shut that all the way down by being like, okay, well, at least my child doesn't have to sleep in my bed every single night, to the point that like that's probably like that's going to be. Do you not think that that's going to cause more issues possibly?
This is why they might not be friends. It's because if y'all feel this way, if y'all really feel this way, are these pent up feelings? Then why are we friends?
Why? Well, it's like, if you feel like that, then we're friends. And why can't you like say like, hey sis, not telling you how to parent, but just based on like, I don't feel like it should be like having a suggestion about some stuff should be it should end in like all turmoil or whatever like that. It shouldn't take for y'all to be in discourse for these things to come out, because that means that you were thinking about it this whole time, looking at me weird or whatever, instead of being like, hey,
that's how I look at it.
You know, in early, I'm not early childhood, but in pre-teen studies show that, you know, maybe sometimes they shouldn't play the game as much or whatever. That's just, I'm just trying to be a good friend and let you know from the outside looking in, or something like that. Hey, maybe you guys should try to cut the umbilical cord a little bit so that, you know, because
y'all can get romantic time, so y'all can get adult time a little bit more. Like there is ways you can say some
maybe
things.
Y'all can learn something from each other. Maybe y'all do need to sit down. Maybe that's where the conversation should have went.
It's looking like they're not friends.
I don't think that it should have even got to this point where this was revealed in this manner, because it's giving that y'all were never really like that close of friends for real. Yeah. If that's the case. I just didn't like that. And furthermore, like, I mean, at least he got a gaming room, and I feel like, so at least she, I guess, is maybe trying to mitigate it a little or monitor it a bit more. It'd be one thing, I guess, if it was in front of face on his dresser at night, like in his actual room.
I mean, he kind of looked like he's one that don't want to be smothered. He don't want his mom to smother him. But the kids are not going to be the same. Maybe Henry or I don't know which one I'm talking about. I mean, I know I'm talking about the younger one. Maybe Jack. Maybe the older one, didn't mind her smothering because that's the firstborn. That's just how my mom is. But the second one, we've been watching that like, oh, hell no, I'm not about to. She got me effed up and she think I'm about to be smothered by her. I'm not about to be around her like that.
And some kids are not. Like, I don't think it's weird, especially at that age. I think, especially for me around 12, I feel like that's when my attitude really did start to grow.
The hormones are jumping right there.
Like be up under them like that. Like that's not weird. I feel like
don't come kiss on me. My kids don't want me to take pictures of them no more. Like all that stuff. Like they don't. I'll be like, come take a picture. They'll be like, oh mom. I'll be like, oh mom, what? Oh mom, what? Yeah, but they tell them take this picture. So yeah.
I mean, I will say, Lisa shouldn't even brought up Elektra at all, even though I feel I feel like she wasn't trying to say anything negative about her. Like Elektra wasn't the topic.
It wasn't the topic.
Target. She wasn't the target, but I just still feel like it was no matter what, it wouldn't have went over nicely regardless. So she just should have left her out altogether. Like Lisa said in season 1, bad weather had their spin the truth industry. Yeah, she's doing her big one this season.
Always, especially depending on how close we are. Like we really can. I don't understand that.
It's not good that he spends hours playing that game and not interacting with kids in his age. And just a daughter going to puberty that needs her more, and Heather knows that since she have grown. I mean. But we're only getting this little snippet, y'all. So we can't even say that that's what he does, like what he even does or doesn't do. Like he doesn't really. We have seen him in other scenes not glued to the game or something like that. So, I mean, I'm not going to go as far as to say that that's what he's doing. I'm going to hope that that's not the case, but only Lisa.
My kids play their games. They got games. One is 14, one is 17. They play a lot. My 17-year-old got a girlfriend, so he don't play. He plays a lot, but he goes and be with his girlfriend, or she comes over here. So not so much. And then my other son, he plays, and he knows when he gets tired. His eyes, he be like, "I'm tired. What you doing? Let me hang out with you." So I kind of my kids are not like they love the video games, but they also know their limit and know when their eyes are tired and when they need to do their homework or I'm getting tired, or mom, you gonna twist my hair, or we doing something. So true, we did get that, but back to what even with Barb said earlier, production was being shady, and they did it again. That's they do that. Just how they show him, they do that. That's like they show us they want to put it in a narrative, and they want that to oh. He plays too many games. He plays games, and in the next couple of weeks, we're gonna see Angie on the phone talking about, "Hey, let me call you back. It's Elektra." We're gonna get it because that's what they do. If it happens, they're gonna get it on film. They're gonna show it cool. We know how it goes.
But I don't think regardless, I just don't think it should have ever went down this route of now we're scrutinizing parenting. But yes, Lisa did say it first. Moving right along. Oh Jesus. So Brittany, and much to our dismay, we get Jared as well. He gets his little 15 minutes of fame right here. And the scene opens up with them having this super awkward hug. And
did she put her hand out? I think she put her hand out to shake his hand, and he said, "Well, can I have a hug?" That's what happened.
Yeah, he did. He initiated. He did. I will say that. Say that he brought that up first. But the whole time she's sitting there looking like a Cheshire cat, I feel like, and I'm just like, girl, like I can't do this with you, and I won't do this with you. Like Jesus. Actually, I'm lying to you guys. This is not the next scene.
I knew it well. I went down like, wait a minute, maybe.
Yeah, we actually got Whitney and Justin. That was next, I should say, y'all.
I didn't write that down, but it's the
Bob, they were going to soccer. They dropped her off, and as soon as they drop her off, that's when she gets that phone call from said blogger or whatever, podcaster, YouTuber. And we find out that he's friends with the person that runs that account that posted about Whitney's business or whatever. So she had asked him to reach out to the account to see if he could find out where the origin, where the source of the story all came from or whatever. She has her suspicions, but she really just needed the proof. And so he called her back with this to say that they couldn't tell him specifically who it was, but they basically played like a process of elimination game. And they're like, oh, they got a skincare brand, they got a jewelry brand. No, okay, they have a liquor brand or whatever, the person or whatever. Because he was like, it's obvious that it's somebody in your friends group or whatever. And the person was like, yeah, they do have a liquor brand. And it's like, there's only one person in the friend group that has a liquor brand. We ain't seen it, but there's only one person in the group that has a liquor brand. And that is none other than Lisa Barlow, y'all. So this obviously takes Whitney aback, although she had her suspicions. It's like it's been pretty much verified that it's Lisa. So she feels validated on one hand, but at the same time, she didn't want it to be true because now she's questioning the legitimacy of their friendship.
Her and Justin both was sick in the back. They both, even Justin took his head back like, wait, whoa. I heard, yeah, Justin. I like Justin.
Justin's gonna get activated next week. I'm pretty sure, y'all, is when we're gonna see Justin having to come in and defend his wife next week, which I can't wait for. Sorry. So that was another big bomb that dropped this episode. And then bringing it back to again, I mean, we pretty much already said everything we feel about that scene, and not knowing whether or not at the same time it's like, yes, this could be true and that's messed up, and if it is, Lisa, shame on you. But on the other hand, it's like, now Whitney, did you put him up to this? Are you sure? Clearly you be talking to bloggers. So are we sure? We don't know. We're gonna have to see. But going back to Brittany and Jared, they do that ugly. They do that awkward hug, talking about they missed each other. And she asked him what makes this breakup like so different or whatever. They break up, like 16 times. And he's like, he thought she was cool pretty much before they went to Milwaukee. The next thing he knows, he receives a call before a video or whatever before the game. And she's saying that she'll like call him once the game is over or whatever. And the next day rolls around only for her to like ghost him. And then the second night comes around and he gets this FaceTime video from her, and it's not even her, it's Lisa on there saying all this stuff and reading their text messages and stuff. And that's again where we find out that Lisa had taken her phone after the drag bar or whatever and started texting him all this stuff. And his biggest issue is like the invasion of privacy, pretty much. And we know her biggest issue is how he regards her. And now she's regretting letting Lisa in once again. And in her confessional, she's like talking about how he won't get off dating apps. He won't post her on social media. And if he sees somebody attractive while they're out, he'll even like go as far as to drop her hand. In public. And she flat out asked him if he's going to show up in the way that she needs him to show up for her. And he's like, I show up for you every day, and I've given you all that I can. Oh, God. And then he suggests that they put a pin in it because they don't quite understand each other.
That dude is a player from the Himalayas, okay? And let's be clear. Jared think he is one of the finest men walking the earth. He got the Osmonds tied to his name. And best believe he's making sure he tell every woman that comes in contact with him who he is. Now,
I want to interview his ex-wife.
He got it. Oh, how long was he with his ex-wife? I wonder, but we'll get back
to have a whole, not a whole family.
I heard the kids. He got child. Brittany, run, Brittany, run. The fact now, let's be clear. Lisa shouldn't have had her phone. You don't let your friends text for you and all that unless you want to break up with this dude. That's the only time you can let your friends do something like that. And I'm not talking about
You're
me because
just completely
I'm
like,
a
no,
grown ass woman. I'm not having nobody talk
I'm
for me.
never doing that.
I
But
need to get all that off my own chest. I don't need you to do it. But there are some women that Brittany seems like such that don't know how to cuss you out if you a man. Because she look like she can cuss you out if you a woman. But they're like, oh, you my man. I don't want to hurt your feelings, or I'm a damsel in distress.
she
No, girl,
wants her
no.
friends to let her be willfully ignorant.
Right. And no, don't do that. No, no,
I
no.
couldn't be friends with someone like that, but
Exactly, because I'm gonna have to tell you if you looking like a sucker for somebody. And so yeah, Jerry know what he got. He knows who she is. That's why he was able to put a pin in it. And the way he even told her, everything was fine. Everything was flowers and everything was great when you went away. Not in her eyes. You wasn't answering your damn phone. She couldn't even find you for a little bit. That's why Lisa and them started making you ignore him. Because remember, he didn't answer your call. We saw on production show you FaceTiming him. It did not go through. So why he's sitting there spitting to you how everything was in sequence, it was wrong. On top of that, you felt bad, like a big dummy. I shouldn't have let Lisa do that. Only thing you should have been apologized. You know what? I shouldn't have let her have my phone. That's it. Other than that, everything she said, I agree with. If you really want to do it. But she didn't want to. That's the family. Okay. Okay, y'all. All American. What is that? 3 girls. You got that little boy too. Okay. Nice looking family. Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice looking family. But I still don't trust you, bruh. I don't care what's going on. I don't care how many kids you got your wife. You just seem like a player. Like, seriously. You're on mute, sis.
oh, I was talking that whole time. Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
I mean, I just, yeah, that's his family, and I'm curious. I'm curious to know what happened there, and I'm curious to know why Brittany, you like, yeah, y'all. If this type of person starts to try to leech on you and your friend group or whatever, like, don't let them, because every time you go to bat for them and stuff like that, and honestly, this is where I had to slide with Lisa later on in the episode, where it's like, okay, on one hand, you're like, oh my God, thank y'all for lifting me up and being, my girls and supporting me through this and showing me the right way to things, only for you to turn around and let him get in your ear and allow you to think like you're doing something wrong by going women's intuition. Like, bye.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't be friends with somebody like that. Those type of people that get you caught up in some mess, and I don't have it to do, and I won't. Sorry.
Yeah, she's a weird one.
She's not over this though, unfortunately. Moving on. Then we get one of the best scenes in the episode, if you ask me. The most raw, I feel like, scenes in the episode between Bronwyn and Gwen is when they have that sit down. They grab a couple of nasty ass crumble cookies and they sit down.
The cookies looked nasty. The chocolate chip looked good.
You ever had crumble?
Hello? Miko worked with crumble.
Oh,
Miko,
I didn't know.
She managed so many of them.
I don't like those cookies.
I thought I did.
I wanted to like them. I've tried them numerous times. Y'all like crumble? I can't.
Too much.
Too dry. It's like they're not good. But they all sit down with their crumble cookies and their 6 dogs and they talk, and we find out that, well, one is they talking now because Bronwyn was out of town with her grandparents, with Bronwyn's grandparents. So that let me know right off the bat, I guess her and her mom, like, I guess they're all in a better space now. That's safe to say, I guess. Enough, whatever. And so they sit down, and again, we had already found out that she told her daughter what was going on right off the bat, pretty much.
Smart.
And it's given them time to kind of process it enough to where they can have this follow-on conversation. And in said conversation, well, one, we find out too that Todd hadn't even seen a picture of her dad. So he was actually taken aback too. Like, that, this is something that she really keeps under wraps, that it's And I feel like based off of that, we should already know. Like if it's to that length, then yeah, she definitely does need to be on somebody's couch talking to them because yeah, they are nasty. Hey, princess.
Princess.
Drive safely.
Yes, please drive safely. Thank you for joining us, though.
Brahma let her know that they had expressed to Lisa that they were excited to meet her. And, you know, at the time, Gwen saw it kind of as like a glimmer of hope, thinking that that might be true, that they actually want to see her and everything. But it kind of changed a bit. And now she's not too sure if that's what they truly want based off of how they like phrase certain things and stuff. And even when she did reach out, it was kind of like they were a bit like cold to her, which turned her off. And Bronwyn even said that she had received a text from the paternal grandmother saying that they're looking forward to meeting Gwen, but only if she is at a place in her life where she's ready to accept them. And that was like another huge.
You know, you put a but in there. When you put but only if what? She's the kid. She's the child. She's your granddaughter. Why are you leaving it up to her? Not like that. I mean, she does have a say in to a certain degree, but she literally has been waiting her whole life for y'all to reach out to her. Are you kidding me?
She's about to be 18. Like, come on now, y'all.
My God.
And like Gwen does find it weird that she has like no understanding of who her dad was, and it's like this is the only way to really start to paint that vision through meeting them. So it's like on one hand, it's like this is not how she would have liked for it to go down, but at the same time, she kind of feels, I guess, like in a rock and a hard place, because it's like if she doesn't take them up on this opportunity, I guess you'd say, then that link, like she's never going to be able to fill in that blank in her life. And Bronwyn, of course, feels like, as we said before, she's in the boat of feeling like, you know, I tried to do everything I could in my power to go above and beyond, and it's going to pain her to even see her trying to even forge a relationship with them, or whatever. She knows how it was when they were very much cold and put up that barrier from day one. And honestly, though, y'all, throughout this entire conversation, I think I need to ask, or I need to say one thing, because keeping it a buck is like, Bronwyn, I hope, I'm not questioning your honesty and your integrity in this situation. I'm not asking and scrutinizing Gwen's integrity in this situation. But I am side-eyeing those grandparents and everything, because it's just, we can't ignore the fact, y'all. We've seen it happen in other situations on other shows every day, where people find out that you're getting on these types of shows and they want to come out, and you long lost family members, or your sister you haven't talked to in 50 years wants to come through and wants to make amends or stuff like that. So all I'm saying is, Bronwyn, just be cognizant and make sure, like, just make sure. I get the girl. She's probably 18 by now, whatever. She's grown, whatever. She's gonna make her own choices, I guess. But just try to safeguard her as far as that. If that's like feel the situation out yourself. Make sure that doesn't exist, because it's gonna make it worse.
She don't need no assistance. Let's be clear. That young lady picked up on everything the grandparents was putting down, understood and felt no love behind what was being said. Not so much that it was like, you know, you could have said what you said, but she can feel it's hollow. So yeah, I didn't even really think about the fact that I forget that people do that. They leech onto you when you become, you know, that's my grandbaby. I think that's my grandbaby. Like, that's the first thing I will be trying to do, especially if my son had already moved to the next plateau. The next thing that he got a next of kin, that's not, child, don't even play with me.
Can we also talk I appreciate this comment, but it made me think about too, like, okay, hasn't Lisa been linked to like questionable people before, or like I don't know. Like I just have to also look at Lisa, and I'm not making this about Lisa. Like she knew this and knew, but I'm just saying like, oh, I want to be friends with people like that because I'm looking at y'all weird. Like how could you even dare? Like why would you? I would never be cool with somebody doing that to their family members, their grandchild or something like that. I'm looking at you.
She's kind of going back. She kind of going like, I know they said they would. Well, maybe they played in her face too. Maybe they're telling her.
That, and we see that every day. I feel like in different situations in life where y'all do realize just because somebody is a quote unquote good friend over here, or they show up for you in this capacity, or they're good in this capacity, y'all do realize that they could still be Diddy, for instance. People always want to, tearing a black man down, and he's done so much for the industry and hip hop and blah, blah. You guys do realize that somebody can be great as a businessman or great in this arena, but also be a shitty person over here when it comes to other stuff in life. Like,
hello, Donald Trump.
Yeah. Hello. So like, are we gonna just ignore that here? Like the fact that these people, like, yeah, you guys might seem nice or whatever. And also, Lisa, I hope she got clearance from Bronwyn to take that message back to them too. That was never disclosed, I feel like, in any of these conversations during this episode. So I mean, I'm gonna assume based off of, because Bronwyn seems very vocal, obviously. I do like to think that if it was a problem, she would have said it in the scene to Lisa, but I just hope that she got that clearance and she didn't just think that it was okay for her to intertwine herself in this situation and carry back messages that she didn't get the green light to carry back. Just saying.
I feel like that would have definitely been something Bronwyn would have been like, make sure you don't tell them nothing. I don't want them to know about my baby, yada, yada. Like, I feel like she would have said one way or the other.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that, but I'm just rattling off.
I mean, wait, our husband haven't even seen a picture of the baby, our kids' father. Wait, what? Like, that's weird to me. Like, what?
And they've been married like 10 years, something like that. Yeah.
That's weird.
That is a
little on the weird. Y'all kind of weird for that.
I hope that, bottom line for me is that I hope that Gwen gets whatever out of this situation that she wishes to get out of it. That's it.
Yeah. Me too. I agree with that.
I still have my qualms towards those grandparents, but ultimately, as long as she gets out of it what she wishes, then it is what it is. Did you guys say anything else?
You know what? Bronwyn did say that we're gonna see more of it play out because she was on, she was on What Happened.
Yes, she was. She was with her.
We're gonna see it play out some more because Andy had asked about it, and Andy was like, he said, well, I want to ask because it might play out. She said, yeah, it's gonna play out. So don't, we'll talk about it then. She's like, and plus, I don't want to make my daughter a tease. I said, you better tell her.
Y'all, let's round this out with this last scene. Heather, Lisa, Mary, and Brittany. Heather got this specific group together on purpose so that they could go ziplining. And Heather lets us know that this is one of the only things that she hasn't done in all her years of living in Salt Lake City. So she's down for it. And Lisa's like, why do we always have to why do we have to bond over near-death experiences? I'm like, hey, those are like some of the best bonding times.
Probably.
Just saying.
It probably is. I haven't did nothing near death like threatening yet. So I don't know.
I mean, this is like one, I guess this is like a very military mentality, y'all. Sorry, but it's sucky situations, terrible situations. Yeah, they really do bond you. I will say that trauma bond, just nothing like it. But I say that to say that but who has gone ziplining and who's all about ziplining and who's going to zipline? Zipline, she's jumping on it. Mary Cosby, y'all. Mary M. Cosby's let us know that she's been ziplining in Jamaica. It's very liberating. She is
Disney cruise.
She is down for the ziplining. And I was like, wow, that's totally not what I thought you were going to say, Mary Cosby. But I'm here for it. Yes. They all get geared up. They zip line. Woohoo. It's so much fun. And then after that, they set up shop to have lunch right here, right tailgate style, which Barry wasn't too fond of that part. But
why do you have all that in your trunk? Why is all that in your trunk?
Why? What? Right here? What? She's just so confused as to why she didn't even know what tailgating was. Shout outs to production.
She was like, is that when we make ribs and barbecue and stuff? Is that or is that what you call it?
She was so
Mary, be quiet.
She was so lost.
I love her though, Neil. She really has grown on me so much. Oh my God, so funny.
I've been excited to see her do this scene since we got the trailer. I was like, I was assuming that she'd be like, oh no, absolutely not. But she was with it. She was with it, y'all. And we love to see it. And then Heather also gives Brittany this like little jewelry holder that is like has a unicorn on it to, I guess remind her how strong she is and everything. And she's also like, how was the closure meeting with Jared? And Brittany's like, she's still pretty upset about it. And she doesn't really want to talk about it. And she's actually upset with you right there, Lisa, because you took control of my phone. You caused a huge rift between me and Jared. And I just don't understand why you're so invested in my relationship, Lisa.
Girl, nobody cares. And Lisa don't either, girl.
Nobody cares.
Neither does Jared. Jared don't care either, girl. Brittany, Jared don't care.
How many times do we have to break this down to you, girlfriend? And Lisa's like, I have no idea why Brittany was mad at me, because why are you mad at me when I just called him out, which he deserved? And then we have Brittany being like, well, you were just so mean to him. Like, why are you saying, like, how do you know he deserved it? She's like, hello, because he's manipulating you. Like, what's not clicking, girl? And all she can say in her defense is like, well, like, he said I was his girlfriend or whatever. It's like, no, he like, no, he doesn't. Like, she's like, he just likes to be private about it.
Girl,
what are you even saying? Like, you hear yourself in her confessional. I should say, she's like, oh, well, I wanted to be in a good space with him, and we're in things at least so that we could be friends or whatever, and you might have ruined that forever. And like, again, Lisa's confused because it's like, on one hand, you're saying like, thank you guys for holding me up, but then on the other hand, you're blaming me mainly for messaging him and talking about like all this other stuff. Like, what? Like, I'm not understanding what the issue is here, but it can only be that you let him get in your head, which she did. And at this same time, Mary's like, leave us out of it. We don't want no parts of it. Please,
Mary cracked me up.
Leave us out of this foolishness. I don't want to do it. Like, I don't want to be in this. And Heather's like, yeah, me too. Like, leave me out of it too, please.
But Heather was more like hitting like this, like, me too. Mary was more like with her putting her back, her chest in and 10 toes down, like, what? Yeah, I don't want to hear it, girl. No, Good, Brittany. No, we don't want to hear it. We don't. None of us either.
But luckily for us, she actually listened, and then we move right over to the whole conversation with Mary and Heather. Heather's like, oh, like, I heard you saw Georgia. And Mary's like, oh yeah, I saw, I saw her. And they're all like, where did you see her? And Mary's like, oh yeah, the wind blew her to me, and then I blew her back, or I blew like she's like,
blew her back.
Very, very mysterious about answering these questions. And it's like, I understood why she was. I was a little confused at first, but I was like, oh, I think I know what she's doing. And we find out it's because and Heather actually clarifies that she saw her at a hip-hop dance class, and Lisa still wasn't getting it until Mary was like, oh yeah, I just I took it or whatever with Angie. And she's like, oh, okay. Oh, how fun. I haven't talked to Angie.
Fake.
I haven't talked to Angie since we got back from Milwaukee. And Mary's like, yeah, I heard you were like upset with Angie or whatever. And last time I checked, you were calling her the B word. So what's up? And Lisa starts going on and on about how Angie hasn't been the best friend to her, which, well, that's been pretty much what we've been saying this entire time, right? That she always uses this as justification as to why she's not a good friend, or why she's upset about something or whatever. And Mary clocks her on it. She clocks her in her confessional, and she's like, Heather says things that were, or I shouldn't say she clocked it. I think it was Heather that said that she champions, or I should say Mary called Heather out for championing for Lisa. And it's like, girl, but last time I checked, you've been friends with Angie since like high school. So what's up with that? And Heather's like, well, in this particular situation, I am siding with Lisa. And yeah. And Mary is like, well, Heather, you're actually one that says things that are very hurtful, actually. Yeah, like you're always in the middle of something and you always hide your hands. And then you try to portray yourself as innocent. So let's really keep it 1,000 here. And Heather tries to further explain herself and speak from where she's coming from and everything. And Mary's just like, girl, like you're two-faced. You're two-faced. And my thing with you is that you leave a trail of lies. And it started with the black eye. Then next thing I know, you're championing for body positivity, only to find out that's a lie too. And then that's when Lisa jumps back in to be like, well, how are you talking about she's a liar when it comes to body positivity, when that's not even what she was talking about. And Heather tries to say that like it's not that she was saying that body positivity is or she's talking about the whole idea of body positivity being like false. And it's like, I understood what she was saying, because I do kind of feel like that sometimes too. Like it's one of those things where people can say like, it's so easy to say like, yeah, like we're all about some stuff, but like, are you truly like all inclusive? Are you truly like really down for the cause, for real? It's easy to say you are, but like, do you really believe in this truly? I get what she was saying, but I did also under two things can be true at the same time. I understood exactly what Mary was saying as well. And that's pretty much where we ended it, with them going back and forth about that. But Mary called Heather out on pretty much everything. And the whole time they were doing this, the only other thing I could think about too was, why in the F have you guys been up and off them zip lines for I don't know how long by now? And why do you still have all this dirt on your face, Heather?
Oh
At first, I thought she had a black eye. I was so confused. I was like, I couldn't even be able to take her serious. And they were just eating. So that's like,
I'm like on my lip.
You feel
I like to lick my lips when I'm eating. I cannot. I'm not. Child, I eat off lip gloss. What are you talking about? You really write this? I can't. I was like, girl, no. She is. She definitely is. At least in this season, she's definitely. I don't know what to say about Heather. She's coming across like the bone collector, being the messiest one, and she keeps saying, it's not her. She's not doing nothing. Like what? Yes.
Wait, you think Mary was being intrusive towards Mary in this scene?
No, what it was Mary was trying not to bring up Angie because she know how everybody feel about how Lisa's been treating Angie. So instead of bringing Angie up and letting them try to do what they do, which is be two-faced and talk about her in front of her, she's like, I'm not gonna tell her.
But it wasn't just like it was. I mean, I also was. Well, Heather knew. Obviously, if Georgia told her mom that she's and freaking Mary, she didn't say anything. But it was mainly Lisa. It wasn't just Brittany though. It was Lisa and Brittany being like, "What do you like, Mary? What do you?"
Yeah, it was more Lisa than anybody. Lisa asked first, then Brittany asked second. That's when she got that,
because she was like, I was work out a little bit. Like she was just being so vague, and it was so funny.
I love it.
But she wasn't like, she wasn't really picking up on it. I don't think either of them were, and then that's why Lisa then was like, "Oh,
well, let me say something."
Oh, that's cool. Hope you get it. Like, oh my god.
No, that one from flying in the air. They rode on ATVs before they got to the zip line. And
Yeah, and that's what Meredith
on
thought.
the
She should have
ATV,
wore white.
they was in the mud and it was flying around, and she sat in the front, so it got on her in the front of her face, and the girls got it like on the back of them or on their clothes more.
Yeah.
I like that Mary told Heather what it was. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I was like.
What?
Yeah, what I call it? I call it the ATV. I meant the 4-wheeler.
Same difference.
Yeah, I thought it was, but I might say it wrong. But yeah, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed. I can't wait to see when Justin. I shouldn't say that because that sounds kind of bad. I want to see how it plays out and how it starts when Justin goes to tell Whitney, not tell Whitney, but take up for Whitney and say that she's not a liar. But the fact that Lisa Barlow's husband puts his hands on her and Justin has to tell him, "Don't put your hands on me." I'm like, oh, I didn't see that part in the other scenes, but
interesting.
Very much so.
Even more so. I'm looking forward to it though.
But I feel differently about Bronwyn after this one. Not that I liked her or disliked her. She just made me like literally like look at her a different way. Like, okay, you went through some things. Okay, you're kind of, I ain't gonna say mean, but she got some of that. Some of that is on her. As I say, I want her to she can get that baggage off of her because that's holding her back and her being great like she should be. Not that she's not great. I'm just saying, and personality wise, I can tell it's something about her I didn't like. And I'm not saying that's what I don't like about her, but I'm just saying she's holding on to something and it's making her not be her full vibrant self. I saw it. We didn't know what it was. And then her daughter, I love Gwen. That little girl is smart and mature. I just really enjoyed their scene. Mary, keep coming to work. Mary, keep showing up, Mary.
Yeah, keep up the good work. Yeah, I definitely appreciate. I wish Bronwyn would have led with this. Not like, I mean, obviously, I get why you not. Hey, my name's Bronwyn, and my whole no, I don't actually mean it literally, y'all. But I just mean, I wish I didn't have gotten that not so great taste in my mouth of her those first couple episodes, only to then now, I have a change of heart a little bit. And I'm interested in seeing that story develop even more. Meredith, do you even go here anymore? I want to know how Whitney's going to flip. Like, I want to know how she's going to retaliate as far as this situation goes. I'm eager to see this party, this anniversary party next week. I
have one other thing. I have one qualm, is that they call it, one gripe.
Mm-hmm.
If I have to hear the word, what is the word? I had it while you was talking. It's not quirky. What did you keep saying? What is snorky? If I have to hear them say that, a snorky remark, you're being snorky with me. It was a snorky remark. If I hear them say that one more time, I'm gonna jump through my screen and snatch their souls from them.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are y'all using that word so much? I don't like it.
I think yeah, it's funny. I feel like the husbands, we're gonna get a little bit of husband. I feel like honestly, like, because we haven't really been getting that across the board for a little bit. So I'm glad they're gonna be tapping in. And speaking of husbands, that's another thing I wanted to bring up. I have like 2 other things, and that was one of the things was we're gonna stop just like, I mean, I don't really think anybody's here doing that, but just for anybody, if they're listening, like, we're going to not put all of the anything on Mary. We need to stop looking at Mary and wondering how she's handling things with her son and stuff like that, because he still has a father. And where's Robert Sr.? Because he should be just as involved in this whole thing too. And I feel like that's the forgotten piece that we keep looking over, is like, oh wait, like, you should probably be in here with your son too, trying to figure out, get him what he needs and stuff like that.
Very true.
That was one of the things. And then
and I hope we get that story too, Mary. I hope you showing up to work. I hope you give us that a little bit more on that story. If you're gonna divorce this man or what y'all got going on.
I mean, I don't. I would say like that's true, but a lot of times they catch strays, and how many times have we seen Marlo or whoever's talking about Todd and he ain't even shit? Or we've seen so many people bring up people's marriage. Sean last season, they were talking about their entire marriage and stuff, him and Angie's marriage and stuff like that. So I don't feel like it's bad for them to say anything to defend themselves in that capacity. No, if it ain't got nothing to do with them, then no, I don't expect them to come over there and be all like on some Peter stuff. No,
yeah,
but I do feel like it's certain. A lot of times they are collateral damage, and I don't feel like anything's wrong with speaking up in that.
I feel like when we were introduced to these ladies specifically, they all came with husbands, and they were in because it was a Mormon, it was family. I really feel like it was more like they were more involved out of all the franchises. They were more involved with the we saw them more. Now maybe they didn't talk as much, but we saw them a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just right. think like we say that sometimes, and it's like, but is it really women, quote unquote, women's business or something like that? If somebody says something derogatory to you, like, because if like I'm taking sex, gender all the way off the table when it comes to stuff like that, because I'm not just gonna be like, okay, that man said something to me, so I can't say anything back to him or whatever. Like, no, like, no, I'm never gonna take disrespect. I don't care if you have what's between your legs, and I feel like that's okay for other people to say that too. I do, but that's all I got. That's all I got, y'all.
We have pictures this week.
You did. I did.
I like it. That was fun.
And I definitely enjoyed talking to you all about this episode as usual.
Yeah, appreciate you guys for joining us. You guys showed up and showed out today like usual. I love it. Yeah, I love it so much.
On the playback, like I said earlier, y'all let us know. You can still join in on conversation in those comments section below. We would love to know what you guys thought of the episode and everything. I mean, I would give it like a 7. I think that's fair.
Yep, I will go right there with you. 7.
Let us know what you guys think in the comments section. Shout out to everybody who was in the live chat. Don't forget, if you haven't already, to hit the like button on both channels, please and thank you. Make sure you subscribe to both channels. Check us out on all of our socials and everything. There's been scrolling along the bottom this whole time and in the description box. So yeah. Without further ado, that's all I got. Unless you got something else.
No, just that my birthday's in 3 days, y'all. So next time I see y'all, well, at least in my Coastal Critiques panel, the next time I see you guys, I'll be a whole year older. I'll be 52. Yeah.
We love that. We love to see that.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys will see. That's why my hair color is different. This is the 52-year-old color that I'm rolling with. Now I'm gonna just go braid my hair. You know, I gotta rock a braid too. You know, because I ain't got time to be doing this hair. I work out too much. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure. You know, just to say that I'm celebrating my birthday this weekend. So I'm happy about that. And when I come to you guys, I'll be a whole year older and a whole year wiser and all that good stuff.
Perfect. So y'all make sure you say happy birthday in the comment section below too. And you know, if you feel so inclined to send my good sis some, you know, a little birthday present, her Cash App and everything else is below as well. So we will see you guys later. Bye.
Bye, guys.